Holy, this is happening at light speed now. What was just concepts from 2020 to 2023 is now coming to fruition from 2023 to 2025. I told you banks were going to custody your crypto by 2025, and now here we are. We will have the Clarity Act by the back end of this year, which is going to give banks clear rules of the road on how to operate in crypto. I'm going to take you back to listen to Tim Cook and what he said about crypto. I'm going to take you back to listen to Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world, how he flipped the script on you around crypto. And I'm going to show you the facts, figures, numbers, logic. Here's why I'm doing this. And here's why I repeat the same things over and over and over again. Because if you can't pull yourself to a 30,000 foot overview and you don't understand how cycles work and that your emotions are their profits, you are going to get wrecked 100% of the time. Pull yourself to a 30,000 foot overview. Do this today. Do it this weekend with your family. If your family's doubting you around cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, go look at the Bitcoin chart the last 10 years. Go look at the US dollar and what's happened to it the last 10 years. Guys, you have to use logic. Take the emotion out. If you're in this to get short-term rich, you're going to get wrecked. What we do is we focus on cash flow. It's trash. Your job is to beat inflation. We transmute cash flow into deflationary assets, fixed supply, things like Xrp and Bitcoin. When we appreciate, don't worry, on the back end of the year, you're going to see beautiful appreciation. We calmly and methodically exit on the way up as people are trying to get rich quick, and we insure our money. And then we create family banks and leverage. And we use low leverage to repeat the process. Money is called currency. It's supposed to move. You dam it up in a bank, and they make money in three ways: interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. So as everybody panics the last couple of days, we're calmly buying the panic. As everybody comes in to get rich quick on the back end of this year and going into Q1, we're calmly taking money off the table. When you understand that everything, to include you, is just a wave of energy and just a cycle, and you remain disciplined, you remain calm and consistent, and go touch some grass, you'll do very, very well. Warren Buffett isn't worried about the daily candles. He's not trying to catch red. He's not trying to catch green. He's following big macroeconomic cycles and calmly moving his money well before everybody else. That's it. Take a deep breath, touch some grass this weekend, and let's get to work. So I'm going to break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic to keep you calm on the back end of every video, incessively and grossly disciplined. I'm going to repeat exactly what I'm doing. Okay. You can watch my channel. I'm going to tell you exactly my portfolio. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. And as it changes, I will update you. Okay. And I got a lot of really great things coming up for you guys and resources. They're going to help you understand how to beat inflation, how to properly manage your assets, how to properly position yourself in cash flow. I'm just an educator. That's all I'm going to do. So what I want you to do is I want you to go out and research. Okay. This is an old video. Okay. This is posted by Trending Bitcoin yesterday, but it is an older video, but it's important. Remember, the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, I own Bitcoin and I've been interested in it for a while.
Well, let me ask you a different question, because you just said that you might not do it personally. Do you own crypto and any Bitcoin or Ethereum? Would you play around with this?
I do. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to own it as a part of a diversified portfolio.
Amen.
And I'm not giving anybody investment advice, by the way.
Me neither.
When did you get interested in it?
I've been interested in it for a while, and I've been researching it and so forth. And so I think,
do as they say. Do as they do, not as they say, right? Here's Larry Fink, just to remind you, 1 year ago. Remember they told you cryptocurrency was a fraud, it's used for money laundering? Sorry, let me switch the... Oh, here we go.
You have been a leader in willing to embrace crypto. You have made it so that people can be in Bitcoin. We hear that you are thinking about Ethereum. These are incredible things. Now, BlackRock is not known as a gunslinger by any means. So you obviously must believe that this may be as an alternative. Is this an alternative in order to be able, because of a deficit, maybe something long-term people should have?
Absolutely. As you know, I was a skeptic.
Yes.
I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are.
Okay, I'll just leave it right there. We've been teaching you guys the Ray Dalio's changing world order. The billionaires are positioning themselves, guys. 95% of Bitcoin supply is gone. 5% is left. I showed you over and over again who owns this. Okay, so let's continue on.
Pantera and Kraken. Good to have you on the program. Another digital asset treasury company. I was shocked to see in Olga Karif's article today, actually, about
this is important. So why I'm showing you this, let me give you context. It is not only at a personal level am I changing the game, in my opinion, in regards to my capital strategy. Capital DR strategy is around deflationary assets that are the system is changing, guys. And so our thinking has to change around the monetary system. But you have to understand at a company level, companies, smart companies are starting to create treasuries. We created a treasury. We have a treasury. A treasury is just where are your assets, right? But we created a digital asset part of it. We have a Bitcoin, we have XRP, we have cash generating dividends. So we modeled my portfolio at the company level and we're crushing inflation. Okay. As you get paid in someone else's debt and you're losing buying power every single day, right? Your job is to increase the enterprise value of your company. But this is what a lot of companies are doing. Pay attention that there's less being mined every day than there is being bought in Bitcoin. It is the most scarce asset in the world. I'm not telling you to go buy Bitcoin. XRP is my number one holding. Bitcoin's number two, but I'm just giving you something to think about, right? You just have to learn to beat inflation. I don't care if you use gold. I don't care if you use silver. I don't care if you use Bitcoin. I don't care if you use XRP. I don't care if you use insurance. You have to learn how to beat inflation.
Mike Novogratz and other Princeton folks that there have been 85 digital asset treasury companies just this year. Why another one?
Listen, first of all, thank you for having me. Second of all, you got to stop looking at treasury companies as trades. These things are not trades. There are going to be as many treasury companies as there are coin accumulation strategies over the next 20 years. This is not a fad. It's not a trend. It's not going away. This is a replacement for the traditional foundation model. So historically, what digital asset innovators have had to do is sequester all of their new coins, their newly created coins, in these not-for-profit corporations or nonprofits in the Caymans and Switzerland. And basically, these companies have watched their treasury go down and to the right over time. That is clearly an inefficient model. We think treasury companies are going to take the place of these foundations over time. They have access to the capital markets. They can be more dynamic. They can generate revenue, and they can still steward the ecosystems that they're supposed to steward. So
beautiful. Use the word ecosystems. I couldn't explain it any better than him. So think about that. My job as a CEO of the companies is to increase the enterprise value. My job is to preserve the capital for my shareholders. Okay. One of my main company, I have multiple shareholders in it, right? So my job, or equity owners, shareholders, so my job is to make sure I preserve the capital and grow the actual enterprise value of the company. And someday I want to exit, right? Someday I want to go off in the sunset and be on my ranch with my grandkids and enjoying my life. And, I'll probably continue to do videos every single day because I absolutely love what I do. My point is think about what he just said, because they're probably in dollar denominated assets that are just, and Bitcoin is going, and it's only going to continue to do that over time. But here's the thing, you and your friends and people getting into crypto are price sensitive. And here's how I know that is be honest with yourself. How have you felt? Be honest with yourself. How have you felt over the last couple of days seeing XRP down at $2.70, seeing Bitcoin coming down? I know that your stomach is sick. You're feeling like you made a mistake. That's not how winning is done. We are completely opposite. Just got off the call with my partner this morning. We're buying more. We're buying more of our dividends. We're like, yes, red, red, red. It's like Pac-Man, man. When it's red, we accumulate more stocks, more coins. We're like, oh, gobble them up, gobble them up. And then when it comes back, we're richer. Okay. Then when it goes really high, we pull some off the table and we secure, which I'll break down in just a moment. Okay. So I want to show you guys this. Okay. Just in 2.8 trillion, Capital Group becomes the largest shareholder of Bitcoin treasury company Metaplanet. Look at this, guys. So this is Bitcoin treasury company Metaplanet. Just go ahead and feast your eyes and read through here. Read through here. Who are the biggest shareholders, the top 19? Oh, we got JP Morgan in there, Barclays, Goldman Sachs, Bank of New York, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup. Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff, guys. All right. So Cryptos R Us posted this. We're about to get swamped with crypto ETFs. Bloomberg's ETF analysis, James, I cannot pronounce that name, says 100 plus new ETFs could hit the market in the next 6 to 12 months. This is going to create liquidity, guys. This is massive. Look at all these ETFs, guys. If you just scroll through here, if you go, we got back here, there's a bunch of XRP here. Boom. XRP, 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 BTC, ETH, Solana. So do you see how I do my investments, guys? Look at Solana, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, XRP, right? There's Cardano mixed in there. But what's the main three, guys? Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. There's HBAR in there. All my portfolios in here, guys. I don't play games with my money. I'm not chasing meme coins. I'm not chasing hype coins. Warren Buffett style investing. If it's not over 100 million, you don't even look at it, right? You don't do it based on hype. You don't do it based on excitement. You don't do it because the more hype someone is about something, the more they have to hype it up. It's like, relax, like chill out, man. Like, let's take a look at this. Is this sustainable? Will this be here? Is it hype? Is it real? Like, was it created in someone's basement? Like, we have to really think about these things. I'm 49 years old. I'm turning 50 in 6 months, right? 6 months. Is it 6 months? Anyways, I'm turning 50 next year. I have about 10 years to land the plane, not 9 years. Okay. What I mean by that is coming down. I'm gonna start, selling off companies and, setting up my badass cash flow strategy for life, using annuities, using dividends. I can't play games with my money, and nor should you. It doesn't matter if you're 20. I don't have my daughter jump. My daughter's got the same type of portfolio I set up. She has a dividend strategy. She's literally living the ecosystem. She has years to compound. She can be a lot more high risk. My point is, don't play games with your money, guys. So I think we can pretty much safely say that XRP is going to be here. Would you agree? Bitcoin's going to be here. Yep. Solana's going to be here, but you'll see the people in the comments that are, oh, Bitcoin's going to zero. Okay. I guess we'll see in 10 years, right? And I'll explain to you how I mitigate that on the back end of this video. So just in, the SEC has approved Hashdex NASDAQ Crypto Index US ETF to operate under the new generic listing standards. The fund is now allowing to hold crypto assets such as BTC, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, XLM. That's my portfolio, guys, except I don't have ETH. I have Solana. So we got BTC, XRP, Solana, and XLM all in my portfolio. Huge news. Vanguard, the second largest asset manager, is preparing to let clients crypto access to ETFs. This is not really important. Is this important? The next thing? Nah, that stuff's not important. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing here. Let's bring you on my screen. Okay. So here's exactly what we do. The first thing is, let's talk about my top 7 now. Okay. My top 7 are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana. I always mix up these two. XLM, WLFI now, past HBAR, and VChain. Those are my top 7. Okay. And I have many others too. I have Algorand, things like that. But the largest holdings are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana. Every day I buy Bitcoin and XRP, dollar cost average, every single day, just automatic. Then every month I buy Solana, and every week I'm buying WLFI. Okay. So that's my asset base. So I focus on 4 things. It's capital DR, cash flow, appreciation, protection, and leverage. Okay. I've worked very hard and disciplined to become my own family bank. So here's how I did it. Okay. From 2020 to 2022, I had a liquidity event with crypto because I was in a vertical strategy. I had a business and I had crypto. I was waiting for a savior, waiting for it to go to 589. Well, it didn't. Okay. Basically 99.9% of the stuff the influencers and the riddlers all said didn't happen. So I realized I stopped waiting for a savior. So I started studying what billionaires do. They don't wait for riddlers. They don't wait for dates. They don't wait for a flip of a switch. They actually build systems. They build discipline. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll do that. So I built a system. So I built a system of exiting on the way up. Okay. And you know, they don't just watch their portfolios go up and go down. They either leverage them, they take profits, they buy cash, they buy more businesses. Okay. So what I did was I followed them at a small level. I set up my first policy, my first insurance policy. Okay. I had my crypto. Crypto went parabolic, went straight up from 2020 to 2022 over that long term, over that bull run. And I laddered out on the way up. We had, spreadsheets, and then we created Merlin. I started exiting on the way up. Well, I pulled and I scaled my company. So I created cash flow, right? So I thought that was the only way to get there. It's like, oh, you got to have companies, you got to buy companies, you got to do all this stuff. Well, I scaled startups, which was awesome. At the same time, brutal, right? I lost a lot of money, I gained a lot of money, but I worked to create cash flow. So I was very disciplined and consistent in that. Okay. As I created cash flow, I started to realize there's other great ways like Warren Buffett to make cash flow. So then I started getting into cash generating dividends. Okay. I like high risk, high paying dividends because DR of my strategy, capital DR, is de-risk. And I'll share with you exactly how I do it. Okay. So cash flow, we got cash flow. Cash is coming in from my dividends and my businesses now. Okay. So I have cash flow coming in. Now, here's an important part. I did not have lifestyle creep. As my income went up, dividends and business income or your paycheck, I didn't buy like I used to. I didn't lifestyle creep, right? So there's a neighborhood that I want to move into, and we could move in there now, but it's not once it's relative to my net worth, right? So if I move into a new neighborhood or I move into a new house, it means to be my wealth increased enough where it's the same impact. Does that make sense? So hopefully that part makes sense. It's called lifestyle creep. As people make more money, they buy more stuff, and then they never become wealthier. So as I make more money, I invest more. So if I'm going to move into a more expensive home, it must be relative to the net worth so I can keep investing the same amount, right? Because I do like nice things. Okay. So like, for example, the boat, I waited for 4 years to buy my boat. My boat is paid for by dividends and it's an expense as well. So I waited patiently and now it feels so good. It's, do you want something? Yes. You put it on a vision board and if you don't need it, you put it on a board until something else can pay for it. Okay. So I digress. So cash flow goes into that C on the capital. Then we go into A. I move my cash. You don't have to do it, but I move it into deflationary assets that have fixed supplies. I believe Bitcoin is going to be here forever. Okay. And I believe XRP is going to be here forever. Okay. So those are my two main holdings. So I move my cash and I store it in there. Someone's like, well, what about liquidity and putting 6 months in savings? Well, I store my money over here and in insurance. Okay. Because I can get access to my insurance within 78, 3 days, maybe 24 hours. My crypto's liquid, right? But it does go up and down. So that may not feel safe to you. Okay. So that's the point is this cash is deflating all the time. Okay. So if you have $1 million in your bank, you don't have $1 million. It says $1 million in there, but your purchasing power is 3%. Says $1 million, but it's not worth $1 million. Okay. If you have $1 million right now at, I think it's 2 or 3% inflation. I think it's 3% inflation. By 26 years, you'll need $2.1 million to buy this, have the same buying power. That is erosion of your buying power. Things are not getting more expensive. You're becoming poor because of inflation. Okay. So I understand that at a deep level. It's inflation and hurdle rates. So I move my cash into deflationary assets. When these profit, right? Everybody's panicking right now. I'm super excited about red because I'm buying more to get a bigger profit. Okay. So it's going to create a bigger profit. I'm going to profit Bitcoin. We're going to move off to the side. We're never touching Bitcoin. Altcoins, all other coins, I'm exiting 50%, laddering out. I take profits. And then what I do, I stuff more into cash flow. I take 10% of that into cash flow dividends. Okay. I'm not buying more businesses. I'd rather do dividends, Warren Buffett style. Then I'm going to max fund my policy, P, protection. So now I'm going to max fund and stuff these policies with cash. Okay, now why would I do that? Because number one, my family's protected. I have permanent life insurance. Okay, I now can leverage at low interest off of money, richest man in Babylon. We use these properly. We fund these properly. Okay, then we got L, leverage. So now we have leverage over here. I have a Bitcoin bank and I have an insurance bank. So when you say Bitcoin's, you down in your comments like Bitcoin's going to zero. Yeah, so okay, say it goes to zero in 10 years. Here's the difference in what I did. Is recently I did a Bitcoin asset-backed loan, 25% LTV of my overall portfolio, very low. That's my rule on the asset side. I never go above 25%. I borrowed at 14%. I bought my insurance brokerage. It's already creating cash. It's going to be paid off actually next month. So now that leverage will be paid off. I made 36% on my money because it grows on average 50% every year. I'm the bank. So now I have basically I bought my brokerage for free. I made money off myself buying my own brokerage. Does that make sense? Then now, guess what? That LTV is going to be back next month. I'm going to take a 25% loan. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy cash generating dividends. So in 10 years, if Bitcoin goes to zero, I'll have a cash generating firm. I'll have tons of cash generating dividends. So if it goes to zero, I de-risked out and I have cash generating. Okay. The difference in what I'm doing is my money is always moving. It's always moving through the system. I started at a very small level, working in my business, hadn't scaled it. Crypto. I realized that's the American trap. That's a vertical strategy. Okay. If one of these verticals get knocked out, you're done. You're done. Okay. Then I realized I saw a bunch of people in crypto get rich and they bought a bunch of stuff and had lifestyle creep and now they're broke. I was like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. I want freedom. I don't want any man or woman being able to take away my ability to take care of my family. Okay. Now, what freedom means to me is that I can take care of my whole family and my ecosystem. And now I'm there. I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of my ecosystem. I provide employment. I make myself last. Therefore, I become first. I understand the biblical knowledge now. I get that. So now I can do the fun stuff. But now I don't really want to. I don't want all the cool stuff. Like it changes your mind because I bought the stuff because it gave me dopamine. I don't need the dopamine. My dopamine comes from God. It comes from protection. It comes from service. It comes from having drive every day to make sure my ecosystem is taken care of. But when I go to get the things that I want, for example, the boat, I made sure that dividends were able to pay for it. So if something happens and we can't expense it and it goes through the process, literally my dividends will pay for it. My lifestyle won't change. My family is not being affected. I'm still investing the same amount, even though I have a boat. So when I'm driving my boat on the lake, I'm driving something that's paid for by somebody else. Okay. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Comment down below, and I'm going to keep teaching this stuff. Inside of our academy, we actually got one of these vibe boards, and I'm going to be teaching more from like concepts, right? Concepts and trying to tie all this together. I'm a very simple man. And one thing I know, Warren Buffett says this, right? It's not the smartest man that wins. It's the most disciplined man. I'm extremely, extremely disciplined in my physical walk, my spiritual walk, my health walk, my financial walk. It's all a trifecta now. It used to be really unbalanced. It would like, if my health was on order, my finances would be jacked. If my finances this, my spiritual would be off. But I worked really hard to get them all into balance. And how I did it, guys, I'm talking to you, man, is I started honoring God in everything I do. Everything. I don't care what you think. I don't care what, and I care what my family thinks. I care what my ecosystem thinks, but I'm not worried about nameless people on the internet. I used to care because that made me realize that I had too much time on my hands. So if you're that person who's constantly triggered by other people's opinion or what they say, it's like you have way too much time on your hands. I'm being honest. I'm looking in your eyes. You have way too much time on your hands. If you're so worried about everybody else, look in the mirror. Like I realize when I look in the mirror, I'm like, holy shit, I still have demons. I am deep demons that I am battling. So when I talk to God, God's like, dude, put your blinders on, bro. Like, look at you. Cast the first stone. I can't cast a stone at you because I got too much shit to work on. That's the human experience, right? So stop casting stones. Focus on God, build purpose, right? Stop trying to people please everybody, right? You're too available to every single person. And you're doing that because you're distracting yourself from the things you need to work on. Be available for yourself. Be available for yourself so much that you become so disciplined that your family never has to suffer. Men, your suffering should be their peace. Your discipline should be their ability to relax. Your financial discipline should be their ability to go spend. That's how winning is done. So I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys very, very much. If you need any support, please let us know. I do have some exciting news as well. We have, I don't know if it's not a good thing, but I don't know if it's common, but we have so many scam accounts. I have one. So we have this social media platform is CoachJV_. That's it. We do not invest people's crypto. We'll never reach out to you proactively around investing your crypto or ask you about your crypto. We will only reach out if you proactively reach out to us or we have a call to action. Okay. We have education systems. We have the 3T Warrior Academy. It's education. We do not invest people. Never send your crypto to anybody. But here's the thing. We are spending thousands of dollars. We built a whole team that's working 24 hours a day with AI and human beings mixed. So we have a whole team that we hired and brought on board to mitigate this. Okay. Down below, you can actually report scam accounts now into my social media platform. So if you see them, help us out. Pop them in there. We're going to go in. We have a team working 24 hours a day. So when they're sleeping, AI is working. So we have sweep accounts, like constantly going after them. It's the only thing we can do. That's the only thing we can do. You know, we're spending thousands of dollars per month to battle this, but just be careful. We do not invest people's crypto. There's people using my face saying that exchanges are a scam, blah, blah, blah. Please stay focused. Don't send your crypto to anybody. Double, triple verify. We have the 3T Warrior Academy, Merlin's smartest way to track your crypto. We do private coaching, things like that. We're educators. We do not invest people's money. We are not a brokerage. Okay. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Everything you need is description of this video on my social media platform. And as we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. God bless.